Saw a movie Friday, and it's been so busy I hadn't made it to the movies very much lately. But we went and saw Unsung Hero. What a great film! That's one of the best films I've seen in quite a while. Really, really good movie. So, if you're looking for a movie and want one that's worth your time, Unsung Hero is it. It is a really good film. I went in knowing nothing about it. I didn't know anything about it. I mean, I'd heard it was a good film. I'd heard some like Jace Robertson from Duck Dynasty. I saw where he had at some podcast. He was like, people telling me to go see this film, and I was like, no. And I finally went and saw it, and it was a really good film. He liked it, so I said, well, Jace likes it. I'll check it out. But I didn't read anything about it ahead of time. Had no idea what the storyline was. I just heard that people were liking it. So, and it was really, really good. Tremendously good film. All right, let's see. Looking at our program last week, which was the last programming assignment we have this year. Looks like 9 of you turned it in, which means 11 people did not turn in that assignment yet. So, to 9 of you, congratulations. You're done with programs. We're going to go just to other lessons and just quizzes, just questions, multiple choice. So, the hard part is over. If you consider it hard, it's kind of the fun part is over because the writing the programs is fun, but you can still go back and write some programs if you want to. But we are moving on to a different topic for the last month of school here, the last 4 weeks of classes. We're going to get into cybersecurity, talk a little bit about that as we transition to the end of the year here. So that'll be good stuff. So hopefully you've got everything turned in. Some of you are missing more than just last week's program. Some of you are missing a couple of 2 or 3 programs or more. Well, not many people are missing much more than that, but some of you've got some programs to write. The good news is we're not going to sign anymore, so you got a chance to catch up. But don't wait 3 weeks until you forget everything you know, because we're not going to be talking about programming for the next rest of the year here. So let's pull up what we are doing this week. Get into that. Let's go to our grade screen as usual. All right, we can see the college and careers finished April 28th. That was due yesterday. Now we have Module 7, Preserving Cybersecurity. So this week we're going to do the lesson on maintaining cybersecurity. Next week we'll do intrusion, cyber attacks, and defense mechanisms. This is a fun topic. Cybersecurity. It is the future of programming. There's going to be more careers in cybersecurity created than about anything else because it is becoming such a huge problem. I have toured the Walmart facility with their cybersecurity department, and it is pretty impressive. And they've got how many? There was more than 1 million. It seems like there was like 7 million attacks they deal with a month. I think it was. It's crazy how many attacks that people are all over the world are trying to get into these systems and trying to get customer information, credit card information, and all that stuff so they can steal. And so they are constantly fighting off attacks, looking for problems in the system, all kinds of stuff like that. So let's get into our lesson, take a look at it. But that is where the future is going to be in programming. There's lots of jobs. Oh, I went to the wrong thing. Lots of jobs there. So let's see what this lesson holds for us today. Computer security. Our lives depend on it. Hey, you don't know how much that your information is being attacked every day. Computers continuously shape our daily lives. We use computers and digital devices to shop, bank, learn, even play online. Technology has made it possible for almost anyone to use the internet, and our dependence on it makes it an attractive and lucrative target for criminals. And how? Achieving and maintaining cybersecurity is a challenge because we exchange vast amounts of private information over the internet at lightning speeds. As a result, online users are targeted by the thousands of attacks every hour. You can go to websites, and we may do that to look at the active current cyber attacks happening. Large-scale cyber attacks often make the headlines when they get into a big company. There's one just last week. But many attacks are kept quiet so companies don't lose their credibility. Yeah, you won't hear about some of these It's important to remember that not only huge companies are targeted, private individuals can lose thousands of dollars each year. My wife's email account 2.5 years ago was hacked into, and they immediately started trying to reset passwords on everything. PayPal, eBay, Facebook, every site they could think of, they would send for a password change. And if no account existed, I saw emails in the account. When I got back into the email finally, I could see all these emails. Some of them say there's no account for this email because they were trying every site. But a lot of them, they did get in. But fortunately, we don't save credit card information on these websites. We enter it every time, or we would have had a problem with them getting our credit card information. So a personal attack, let's talk about, personal attack might look something like this. A criminal sits outside an unsuspecting victim's house. The victim sends private banking information to the bank using Wi-Fi that has some generic password. The criminal hacks your Wi-Fi at your house and intercepts that banking information and then drains the victim's accounts. That can happen. Someone can sit outside a house and then, more commonly, this is someone not even in the United States hacking in from overseas. So what's the answer? Well, unfortunately, cybercrime is not likely to go away. It's going to get worse. It's estimated that cyber crimes will result in $6 trillion annually being lost. But thankfully, there are trained professionals who qualified to mitigate these type of crimes. Let's get the definition of mitigate: make less severe, make less painful, less serious. All right. Let's talk about ethical hacker. I love ethical hackers. There's a lot of my follow on YouTube. Ethical hackers, sometimes known as white hat hackers, from the old cowboy and western days, the good guy in the cowboy, the old western shows used to always wear the white hat. White hat hackers are hired by organizations to penetrate the organization's security infrastructure and find weaknesses. Hey, we're going to hire you to hack into our system so we can figure out what we need to fix. So these hackers use the same techniques as the black hat hackers, the bad guys, but with the intent to strengthen security. And they average about $91,000 a year. Good money to be made. If you want to see some interesting YouTube videos, look at Scammer Payback. He's an ethical hacker. He's a white hat hacker, but he doesn't work for companies. He actually is a cybersecurity expert in real life in his career, but he now does this YouTube channel. He goes by the name Pierogi and Scammer Payback, and he will deal with all these people that call you on the phone and they're trying to scam you over the phone, and he'll get them on the phone, and when they get the phone, they want to get into your computer. So they have you go to your computer so we can check your bank account or whatever they want you to do. And they connect to your computer and try to scam you out of this. So when they do that to him, since he's a cybersecurity expert, he's got all this software that he reverses the connection. So while they're hacked into him, and when they hack into him, he's got like a virtual computer set up. It's not really, they really can't access anything he's got. They access a fake computer, and he's reversing the connection, and he will copy all their files off their computers and delete them. He will delete thousands of files, and sometimes they catch on, sometimes they don't until he tells them, and then they look at the computer and all their files are gone, because they'll have files of thousands of people's information on spreadsheets, phone numbers, how much they've scammed from them, names, and the call list of who they're going to be calling. Scripts, they use these scripts because they're not real good at thinking on the fly, but he is so much fun to watch. Scammer Payback on YouTube, but he is a white hat hacker because he fights the bad guys. Information security analysts. Information security analysts are responsible for monitoring potential security breaches. They develop and install software, and firewalls can be used as security measures to protect the security of private information. And they average over $71,000 a year average, which means beginning, they may make less. You've been there a while, you're going to make more than that. A penetration tester or vulnerability analyst. These professionals take a proactive approach to testing an organization's computer and network system. They infiltrate the existing system to discover flaws. Now, this is not like the white hat hacker. The white hat hacker does it, but he's not an employee of the company. He's someone they contract with. Hey, you try to break it. These are guys that are hired by the company. They're an employee and they try to hack into their own system from their own company. They infiltrate the existing system, discover flaws. Here's how I got in. And now they can fix that. Penetration testers use network penetration testing, social engineering penetration testing, database penetration testing, and web app penetration testing, to name a few. And they can make about $82,000 a year on average. Digital forensic analyst. This is after a crime has happened, after the break-ins happened. Forensic analysts, and there's a lot of these at the Walmart that I talked with over there. It's really cool. They're trained to retrieve digital evidence from various digital assets used in conducting a cybercrime. They often work with law enforcement agencies to analyze pieces of evidence. $72,000 a year. Yeah, Walmart has a division of them. We talked with them. They work with the Secret Service. They work with the FBI. They work with local law enforcement agencies. Anytime Walmart has someone that's tried to hack in or some crime, even stealing from the stores, they work with the digital forensic analysts, because the analysts have to go into the video systems and pull out evidence where they show a video of the person stealing things, and that's part of their overall network is their video system. So the forensic analysts work with that as well, retrieving information. Network engineer. They got several responsibilities. They design and build networks. They implement the network security practices, and they ensure the network security of our organization remains intact. They design systems to help counter known or unknown malware and cyber attacks. Average annual salary, $86,000 a year. So you can see, so you can start out making some really good money, and the average salary in these is only going to go up. And it's a great field to get into. Let's look at page 2 here. Security breaches. Criminals attack unsuspecting users in a variety of ways. You really got to protect your information online. So an information security professional has 3 primary goals: to prevent, to detect, and then recovery if you find the attack has already happened. So prevention, personal and company information must be protected. If there's a security breach, let's look at their definition of that. It's any incident that results in unauthorized access to computer data. Someone that wasn't supposed to be able to get into a file, got into a file. If there's a security breach, an organization may have to put a great deal of effort into recovering losses, depending on what they accessed. An information security professional must make prevention the number 1 priority. Best way to deal with an attack is to prevent it from ever happening in the first place. Right? Detection is when a user is discovered attempting to access unauthorized data, or when a breach is discovered after information has been lost. You got to detect it, that it's even happening. It involves investigating individuals or scanning the data and networks for any traces left by the criminals in attacks against the system. Maybe you get their IP address. Recovery. When disaster strikes or security is breached, system data could be compromised. They may have deleted stuff. You don't know what they've done when you get in there. That's part of that detection thing. You got to figure out what they did. A security professional will employ a process to recover vital data from a crashed system or a data storage device, and can also happen after a natural disaster. Could be a fire. And you got to have that network security person get in there and try to retrieve whatever. Like if you have a fire in a store, your computer probably has a record of all the sales that happened, all the credit card transactions. And if it burns up, you can't turn those into the credit card company. You may lose millions of dollars. Yeah. So being able to recover that information can mean a lot of money to stores and businesses, just to be able to recover everything that happened with a fire or a flood. Did you know the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, IC3, created the Recovery and Investigative Development Team in 2019 to partner with financial and law enforcement investigators to dismantle money mule organizations? Let's look up the definition of that. Sometimes called a smurfer. It's a person who transfers illegally acquired money in person through a courier service or electronically on the behalf of others. There's some really good videos that I've watched. A Scammer Payback has gotten into a lot of those, to where figuring out what these scammers are trying to do. They're trying to get you to log into your computer because you'll get an email or something. You'll get a phone call that you're owed a refund. and they'll have you log into your computer. They'll connect to your computer and say, go look at your bank account and see this transaction. Or they'll say, oh, first they'll say, you need to fill out our form to get a refund. Now put this form up on the screen. And let's say you're owed $200 as a refund. And they'll say, okay, you need to type in the amount of refund. They want you to type in the amount of the refund on the screen. And so you'll hit 200. And then real quickly, while you're typing, since they also have access to computer, they'll hit another 0 right before you hit enter. And then you'll finish out the form and they'll say, okay, look at everything. Does it look right? And you'll say, oh no, that says 2,200. And they'll be like, oh no, we refunded you $2,000. And they'll act all shocked. And they'll say, I'm going to lose my job. I've got kids to feed. You're going to have to give me back the $1,800 that we gave you too much. And they usually try to deal with older people because a lot of times older people aren't very familiar with all this stuff. And they'll say, you got to give back $1,800. And so they'll tell the person they need to go to their bank and pull out $1,800. And I'll give you an address to FedEx it overnight. So they can talk some of these older people and they'll say, don't hang up, stay on the phone with me, because they don't want them to talk to someone else that tells them it's a scam. And they'll get in their car and they still got the cell phone and they'll drive to their bank. And this person, tell them you're getting money for your grandson, that you're going to buy him a gift. Because they know if the bank asks them, what did you need the $1,800 for? And they'll say, oh, someone refunded me. The banks know this is a scam, and the bank will tell them you're being scammed. So they give them a fake story, which should be your first hint. If the person on the phone is trying to refund your money is giving you a lie to tell the bank to pull out money, you should know you're being scammed. But some of these older people, they'd go along with it, and they'll pull $1,800 out, and they'll give them something to FedEx it, and they'll say, all right, FedEx it to this address tomorrow. And they'll put it in a box, and they'll tell them usually to put it inside of a book, because sometimes FedEx scans it and they see it's a bunch of money. They know it's a scam too. So they'll stick it inside the pages of a book and ship this book to an address. And what happens at the address is usually they have a money mule. Scammer Payback had some videos. They actually worked with Mark Rober for some of this stuff too, where they sent one of his glitter bombs instead of money. But they tracked one of them, this lady. They talked to a lady that's been scammed, and she had just FedExed this, and they got the address. Turns out it was like an Airbnb. And so the scammer knew, okay, no one lives there. It's an Airbnb. And they hired this money mule. This money mule sat in a car down the street, and they were watching. And as soon as the FedEx truck came, they got out of the car and they ran up on the porch at that house, like they were just coming out of the house when FedEx pulled up. They go, oh, do you have a package for me? And they'll say, oh, yep. And they'll take the package, get back in their car and leave, never even going in that house because it's not their house. But they act like it is. And they get this package of money. And then the money mule is allowed to open it, and they have to film themselves because the scammers don't trust them either. And they get to take like $100 or $300. And then they take the money and they deposit it or send it, or they buy Bitcoin and they transfer it to the scammer. But they receive the cash, get a cut of it, and a lot of times they don't even know it's something illegal they're doing. Sometimes they'll hire these money mules thinking it's, hey, I have a legitimate business here. I need you to collect money for me and send it to me, and you get your cut out of it. And sometimes the money mules don't know. A lot of times I think they do. But the money mules is a big problem. So the FBI setting up this team to dismantle money mule organizations is trying to get to the root of all these people that are doing this, because it's usually older people. When Scammer Payback did that, they intercepted the FedEx truck when they got with Mark Rober and were sending some fake stuff. And the FedEx truck, he said, I've actually got 2 packages for that address. And it turns out there was someone else they had scammed and given them the same address. The money mule was going to be picking up 2 packages. And that one they just caught by accident. They didn't even realize they were going to help 2 people. But the other one of them had like $19,000 of cash in it. It was crazy. But it's a big thing. It is a big thing. So cybersecurity is trying to save a ton of money for a ton of people, because people are actually falling for this daily and shipping thousands of dollars. One of the other things they're doing now is they're not using money mules so much as they're having people buy gift cards. Go buy $1,500 in Google gift cards or Apple gift cards or whatever gift cards. And then they just have them scratch off the back and send them a picture of it. So they don't even have to physically have the gift card. They can cash it in. And there's all these black sites, websites where they can buy Bitcoin with these gift cards. And that's how the money, that's how these scammers can cash it in that way. They can convert it to Bitcoin and make a lot of money that way. There's a lot out there. So their team, their recovery and investigative development RAID team, they have the recovery asset team RAT and the money mule team MMT. And while RAT is primarily focused on financial recovery, the MMT performs research on previously unknown targets to develop new investigations. So they try to investigate where this came from. In 2019, RAT assisted in the recovery of over $300 million lost in online scams for a 79% return rate of reported losses. They were able to return 79% of the money to people who got scammed. 300 million that they were able to intercept, which means there was millions and millions and more they didn't catch. All right, let's look at page 3. Face the consequences. What are the potential consequences of a security breach? It can be devastating for a business. This is especially true if the breach was avoidable or it put customer data at risk. Loss of customer confidence. That's what Walmart protects against. They're like, we know if we have one breach where we lose a bunch of credit cards, people won't have any faith in Walmart anymore. Because that happened to Target back in 2011. They lost a bunch of credit card information, including mine, and I haven't been back since. Negative press, associated identity theft, because, they can get your information and start stealing your identity. Potential customer views towards the company could all be negatively impacted. So here's some of the long-term complications. All right, so loss of customer trust. Like I said, I haven't been back to Target since they lost my credit card information to hackers. Financial losses, ruined business reputation. They can get fined if they found out they were careless and they could have done more to protect it and didn't. They can get big fines. Of course, their stock price can fall considerably. If they could have trade secrets, the way they do things can be stolen, and that can be lost. And of course, compromising customers' data. There's a lot of that. Did you know in 2017, Equifax, that's one of the credit reporting agencies, one of the 3 largest, they announced a data breach that exposed the personal information of 147 million people. I think my wife got a notification about that. We were in that too. The company agreed to a global settlement with the FTC, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, in 50 U.S. states and territories. And the settlement included up to $425 million to help people. What they gave us was like 3 years of credit monitoring for free to monitor in case someone that had taken our stolen data starts doing something illegal with it. So it cost them $425 million because of the breach that they let happen there. They did not stop. Cyber criminals love social media. Yes, it's super easy and fun to stay connected to friends and family, but cyber criminals are on those platforms also. Here are some tips to stay safe. Lock down your privacy settings. Check the settings in your social accounts to make sure your phone number and email addresses are not public. They're hidden. Consider setting your account to private if you plan to share personal or non-business related pictures. Use multi-factor authentication. That's really big. Consider providing your phone number, email address to each platform and require it to use text messaging or email to confirm your identity when you log in. 2-factor authentication can keep your account secure even if your username and password are stolen. That happens all the time. I have a Bentonville West bowling account on Twitter that I maintain since I'm the bowling coach, because we post sports stuff on Twitter, and that account gets hacked all the time. Twice last week, I do have the multi-factor authentication. Twice last week, I got an email saying, here's your code to finish logging in. Type this 6-digit code. If it wasn't you, you should change your password. Well, if I change my password every time it happens, it's crazy. But every week, someone hacks into that. They use their hacking software to figure out the password and try to log into my Twitter account. Now, I don't have anything saved on there. There's nothing that would help them, but they don't know that. And they get hacked in every week. That just tells me there's thousands of people trying to hack in every week, and 1 or 2 of them are successful. But if I didn't have this, then they could get in there and change everything. They could change the phone number. That's what happened to my wife's Facebook. When they got her email, they changed her Facebook email. They changed her Facebook password. They changed her Facebook phone number, and we've never got her Facebook back because we don't have any information. Be discreet about your whereabouts on social media. Avoid sharing your street address. That helps criminals target your home. There's local criminals that look for people. Oh, this person's going on vacation. Their house will be empty for the next 5 days. We can go break in their house. Don't share when you're traveling for extended periods. Your vacant home could be a target. If you need to post that, wait till you get back. Hey, just got back. Here's some great pictures from my trip. Oh, I didn't know you were gone. Yes, that's the secret. Handle your passwords with care. Don't store them in your web browser. If your phone or laptop's stolen, all those saved passwords can provide access to all your social accounts, your shopping sites, your email, all which likely contain loads of information that an identity thief could use. Don't use social credentials to sign into third-party sites. Providing your data to third parties adds an increased risk of having your username, password, and other information disclosed. Adds a much greater risk. These shortcuts are tempting, especially when you're eager to place an order or join a discussion. Hey, you can just join with your Facebook logon. This option may give the news site more information than you want or need to give it. Avoid and report duplicate friend requests. Why? If you receive a request to connect with someone that you know, but you think you're already connected with them on that platform, double check your friends list before accepting. Let your friends know they may have been hacked. And that's the thing that really drives me crazy, because most of the time they're not hacked. Someone's just duplicated an account. I took your picture off Facebook and I created another account with the same picture in your name. Your account hadn't been hacked at all. Criminals use bogus accounts cloned from real users to collect friends and rely on these mutual friends to extend their fake networks. So I always accept those requests because I'm that kind of guy. And then I give them a hard time because I know it's fake, and I'll tell them crazy stories trying to get them to think I'm going to give them money. And I actually had one of those that faked a friend, and they gave me their address in New York because they thought I was sending them thousands of dollars that I owed them. So I contacted the authorities and gave them the address and told them this person was faking their account on Facebook. I don't know if anything ever happened with it, but they deleted that account real fast when they figured out I was lying to them and knew they were a fake. All right, industry certification. What are the benefits of earning an industry certification? Are you looking for a way to stand out from the crowd? Do you want to have an edge over your peers on your resume or your college app? You can earn an industry certification, and that's one way to gain an advantage. Industry certifications show companies and institutions that you have proven skills and knowledge that have been tested by the leading industry organizations, and you've mastered the most up-to-date skills in the industry. So you can earn an industry certification showing potential employers, and colleges you're not afraid of a challenge. So career opportunities, scholarships, special designation in your high school diploma if you get the certification, admission into a program at university, or possibly a job promotion or higher salary. To prepare for a certification exam, you'd study and study some more. Review the guided notes, review course materials, reach out to your instructor. So you can take cybersecurity courses out there that will give you certifications. All right, knowledge check. Here's a little quiz. Let me turn the chat on so I'll see if you guys have been paying attention. All right. What should an information security professional's number one goal be? Detecting an attack, recovering from attack, or preventing an attack? Which is it? What should be the number one goal? Detecting, recovering, preventing. Oh, you guys are on it quickly. Absolutely. If we can prevent it, we don't have to worry about the other two things. Preventing an attack. Very good. Okay, next question. What are the 3 goals of information security? Oh, if you're paying attention to question number 1, it just told us. Is it the first choice, the second choice, or the third choice? Prevention, concealment, and recovery. Prevention, detection, and recovery. Protection, deletion, and recovery. Yeah. Second choice there. Choice B. Right. Prevent, detect, recover. Maybe concealment is part of it, but these are the 3 that we worry about. All right. Third question. Who is trained to retrieve digital evidence from various digital assets used in conducting cybercrime? Is it the security analyst, the ethical hacker, or is it the forensic analyst? Yes, it is the forensics guy. They're the ones that retrieve evidence. They work with the authorities, the digital forensic analysts. Very good. All right, last question. Which security technique requires a phone number or email address in addition to a username and password to log into a site? Is that 2-factor, 1-factor, or 3-factor? Oh, Zachary's on this quick. It is 2-factor authentication. The first factor is having the password. The second factor is them checking with your phone or email that it's actually you. So, all right, very good. You guys got a lot of the basics of cybersecurity down. That is the end of this lesson. Summary, there are several challenges when it comes to achieving and maintaining cybersecurity. Extremely large amounts of private information are shared over the internet at lightning speed, and careers can vary, but they all share the same goal: protecting information. On both the global and local level, cybersecurity impacts the economy, the job market, the way we end. Here's our assignment. It is, let's see how many questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions. 5 questions. And let's see, leave. I don't know if it's allowing more than one attempt, but I'll go change it. You should be able to do retake it if you don't do well the first time. So I'll check the settings in that and make sure it gives an automatic retake if you don't do well the first time. But that's it. We're going to finish the year looking at cybersecurity stuff like we looked at today. So if you're behind on a program, it does allow at least 2 attempts. Okay, Jacob, thank you, sir. If you're behind on a program, get those turned in, because we got light, easy work for the just this quizzes, multiple choice questions for the rest of this semester until this semester exam. And for those of you that be exempt, yay! But one of the ways you can be exempt from the semester final is you have to have all your work turned in. So for those of you wanting to be exempt, that's one of the requirements. Don't have any missing assignments. So, all right, guys, I'll let you go. This is a B-Day Friday. Yes, Serenity, I believe all the cybersecurity is going to be just multiple choice questions until we finish. I don't even think there's any fill in the blanks, if I remember correctly. So, B-Day Friday, so we have class Wednesday if you need to be here. But otherwise, we'll see you next week.